The most important walk you will ever do in your life is the one you do alone, which is why many people avoid it because deep down they can't stand being on their own, as they are not strong enough to face their storms. The path to ascension is walking to elevate the human consciousness to higher dimensional frequencies and realities. Humanity has been operating from a three-dimensional consciousness level for centuries, which is based in survival, fear, scarcity, anger, lying, mistrust, complaining, negativity, and consumption. It's time that we evolve and ascend to higher states of consciousness. When you walk your path to evolve to the 4D, you will notice hope, reflection, releasing control, see the good and bad, but feel empowered to change. The fifth dimension consciousness level is where your truth and faith lives. You are focused on the present, surrender to the flow of life. You are empathetic, grateful for the opportunity to help others using your gifts, creativity, leadership, and wisdom to be of service to a higher power, being the change you wish to see in the world, leading by example. This spiritual walk is not easy because the third conscious level is made of low, dense vibrational frequencies and operates in duality and separation. People operating from the 3D, looking at things from a linear perspective, and only understand what they can see and touch as being their reality. Life feels like the survival of the fittest, and you are identified by the way you look, the job you have, or the car you drive. In this consciousness, there are many programs that condition the human mind to operate in fear, lack, and survival. Your physical body is the base of your third density existence. When you start walking your spiritual path to ascension, your human being experience starts with the ego and is measured from the bottom first density all the way up to the third density. At this stage, humans are egocentric, self-serving, actions based on fear, conditional love to conquer and divide. They lack compassion, judgment of others, and self, competitive, self-righteous, identified with physical body, self-importance, world of knowing, materialistic, insecurity, controlling. Their experience is emotionally charged by past and future to reactions and negative expectations. The transition from the third density to the fourth density existence from human being to spirit essence is highlighted because people will drop their ego fear-based reality to love, and there's a spiritual awakening, consciousness expansion, purging of negative emotions and belief systems because they will realize self is not a body, physical changes, and tap into collective consciousness, increase telepathy, having out of the body experiences, thinning of the veil, and realizing that something is changing in the world. The 4D is the gateway to the 5D, but still operates in duality. In the beginning of recognizing there is something more than self. 4D consciousness begins to awaken you to the idea that we are all connected and there is more to life than what meets the eye. This is when we become curious about self-exploration and begin to connect to something more than ourselves, which is often referred as awakening. Next step into the fifth density existence will lead to your higher self and soul, where you become egoless, service to others, actions based on love, unconditional love, ongoing gratitude, self-realized, fearless, no limits, less dense body, unity-minded, recognize self as part of the whole. Manifestation easy, goes with the flow, duality and linear time dissolves. Only time is now, no need for possession or status. 5D consciousness resides in love and neutrality. There is no duality and no good or bad. In 5D, there is no competition, and we know there is enough in the universe for everyone. You feel overwhelming emotions of love and compassion for life, Mother Nature, and the stars. In this space, we live free from conditioning and live in oneness with yourself and others. This is known as self-mastery and will create peace on Earth. There is a massive change happening in the planet right now, but it won't show on the news or movies. It's the transformation felt in the hearts of humanity because people are finally realizing that we become what we focus on and that we influence our reality based on what we become. So focus on creating the version of you which is heavier and stop fighting evil with evil to react to chaos, but rather live the present moment, healing from the low energy egoic states, because fighting only breeds more fighting. Once you heal and change from inside out, you will awaken to your own divinity and will become guided, supported, and protected from external illusions and deceptions of power, control, and manipulation by a higher intelligence. At some point, the lower frequencies of war, fear, anger, greed will cease to exist in this reality because the planet will be full of sovereign, awakened beings living in connection with God and the truth. Because when the ego dies, the soul awakens. Surrender is trusting in God's path. Surrendering control is an act of profound trust in the flow of life. It's not about giving up, but about alignment with the universe rhythm and releasing the need to force results or outcomes. When you surrender, you create space for miracles, synchronicities, and inner peace to emerge. How often do you resist life's natural flow, holding tightly to expectations, pressures, or demands? Let go of controlling your life and detach by releasing the need to control every detail. Trust that what it is meant for you will unfold in divine timing. Embrace the present moment because when you surrender to the life flow, it will invite you to live fully in the now, free from anxiety from the past and future. Listen to your intuition because when you surrender, you become more attuned to the subtle guidance of your inner wisdom and universe's signs. Surrender is not a weakness, it's an invitation to flow with the current of life, trusting that you are being carried towards your highest good. You cannot beat a river into submission. Surrender to the river's current to use its power as your own. It might not make sense, but you will be able to use the power of its current by surrendering your control. Your intellect can only take you so far, because you may notice the pull to act, but at the same point, you will have to silence your ego and surrender for your power to rise. When you act as if God is within you, your voice changes, your posture changes. You will stop asking for permission to live with that fire in you. And when you stop waiting, heaven will stop waiting too. The devil will make your life a living hell, so dark with all sorts of evil deceptions, temptations, and distractions for you to quit. And you are hearing this now because something in you is ready to rise. The silence you feel, the restlessness inside you is not confusion, it's a call, a divine order echoing within, commanding you to stop living like you were forgotten. You were not made to shrink or dim your light. You were sent to lead by example, the one who has power and authority to do so. When you listen that voice with respect and follow his commands again and again, it becomes spiritual law. We will not just change, we will become the living proof of your purpose, sent with clarity, walking with power, and finishing what heaven began. You've walked long enough pretending to be less than what you were sent to become. You've bowed enough to fear, and you've hesitated long enough in the valley of the shadow of death. But now the voice of purpose calls you. It's not advice, it's instruction. It's the truth of who you are beneath the story, beneath the excuses, beneath hesitation the world has taught you, and the masks. You were not placed in earth to survive. You were sent with inner power. You were sent with a purpose. The world prefers a weak man because it's easy to control and manipulate. A creative, valuable, strong, wise man who walks as if God is within him cannot be controlled. This truth is not handed out in your family, schools, jobs, or printed in the headlines, or displayed in news, or celebrated in public. Because when a man walks as if heaven lives inside him, it triggers and disrupts the darkness. He no longer listens to their noise, no longer waits for their support, no longer serves fear or lack anything